far. Oh, there you go. That's me, I think. Okay, look. I've come on here to give you an update on the Arizonian cacti cowboy, and terrible things occurred. Oh, well, he's not dead, but he might have. Oh, it's been a shock, a terrible shock. Like the other night, 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, the usual time he turns up, I heard this out the front, right? And I thought, well, that's not the 1952 fully restored Harley Davidson. I looked out this, because my eyes are no good, you know, terribly short-sighted and whatever, and I look out and I can see this like a sports car shape, right? Anyway, next thing he gets out of it and he comes down, and when he got to the patio out here outside the bedroom window there, I said, whose car's that you've borrowed? Because, I mean, you know, he borrowed the milk truck before, so I thought he borrowed it. And he said, oh, no, it's mine. He said, I just bought it. I said, what? He said, with what money? And he said, oh, well, I sold the cactus farm in Arizona. I said, what? I said, you sold the cactus farm? I said, but you love the cactus farm. I said, you loved every single cacti on it. You know you did. What did you do that for? He said, well, I did it for you. I said, what? Don't you blame me? Don't you come here telling me that you sold the cactus farm on my account? He said, well, you don't like cactus. I said, no, I don't either, really, but, I mean, I was starting to get a bit, well, not to like them, but I didn't hate them quite as much after you showed me all those photos, and I mean, look, you didn't have to do that. I said, you're not going to blame me for this? You are not going to put me in the shit for this? I said, you did this off your own bat. He said, well, yeah, he said, but he said, also, he said, you wouldn't ride on my Harley Davidson fully restored 1952 model motorbike. And I said, well, I did say I wouldn't ride pillion because you're a maniac of a driver. He said, oh, well, I was going to give you some motorbike boots and a helmet. I said, not good enough. Not good enough. I said, I know the way you used to come screeching around that bloody corner. I said, you're a maniac on that bike, a bloody maniac. I said, I'm not going to bloody risk my life going pillion with you on that. He said, well, that's why I bought the Bugatti Chiron Tourmaline, I think he said it was. Tourmaline? I said, what? Never heard of them. He said, oh, well, the Zelenskys just bought one. I said, well, that's all right for the bloody Zelenskys. I said, you've only got the bloody cactus farm behind you. And I said, did you spend all the money from the cactus farm? And he said, well, yeah. He said, you know, I traded in the bike as well. I said, what? I said, don't you realise that the Zelenskys are in a completely different category than you are, you fool of a man? They had the taxpayer funds from the whole of America. They can afford to buy Ducatis. You can't, you stupid person. I said, now look what you've done to me. I'm going to be just like Mrs. Simpson. He said, who? I said, it was King Edward VIII's wife. She told him not to abdicate, and he went ahead and abdicated. And then she had to live with it for the rest of her bloody life. I said, now you've saddled me with this. You've sold your cactus farm, and you're going to blame me for it the rest of your bloody days. I said, who do you think you are? He said, oh, well, you're divine intended. I said, no, you're not. I said, I've been waiting for him to come here for years, and he doesn't look anything and he definitely wouldn't bloody sell it to buy that bloody sports car. I've been in a terrible state ever since this happened. And he said, oh, well, he said, I'll go and make you some breakfast and while you calm down. And he goes out there, the kitchen, you know, and he calls out, he says, breakfast is ready. And I'll drag myself out there and have a bit of breakfast, you know. So I go down the corridor and I round the corner by the fish tank, you know. Oh, my God. I said, what the hell do you think you're doing in my kitchen, bare-assed? He said, well, I've just had my shower. And I said, well, I don't care. I said, you don't cook breakfast naked in my kitchen, right? And he said, well, I've got your apron on. He turns around. He's got, you know, my Valentine's Day apron on. You know, there's two big hearts, pink up the top, and then there's the bottom half of the apron, you know. And, of course, he had it tied around the back and the pink strings were falling down in the crack of his arse, you know. That's what I saw when I rounded the corner, these buttocks with this pink string down the crack. You know, I mean, in my kitchen, this is where I cook my food, you know. I said, look, apart from the shock you've given me, I said, it's not hygienic. He said, well, I've just had my shower. I said, look, I don't care, really. If you have just had your shower, I said, bare buttocks are not permissible in my kitchen. And I said, and that's another thing. That's how I can tell you're not my divine counterpart. You are not the man intended for me in sacred union, because that particular person, when he comes, would not have his name known for appearing in my kitchen with bare buttocks. I do assure you of that. Anyway, the thing is, I did eat his breakfast. And, you know, once he sat down in the chair, he didn't look quite so bare. And it was a very nice breakfast, I have to say. Anyway. Look, he's gone, and he won't be back, I hope, for a while. He just turns up whenever it pleases him, you know. The fancy takes him. And look, as I said, I'm still trying to recover. And look, I don't want to end up like Mrs. Simpson. Do you know that she put Edward's plate out every morning for breakfast with a knife and fork and a serviette every day after he died, until she died? She was stricken with grief and guilt, you see. Grief and guilt. See, I don't want to be saddled with that. No, I don't. I mean, if he sold that bloody cacti farm, which he did, which he said was done to please me, because I don't like cacti, well, that's his choice, isn't it? It's his choice. He should have consulted me first. Well, of course, not that he's obliged to consult me. I mean, it's nothing to do with me what he does with his life or his money or anything like that. It's got nothing to do with me. I mean, you know, that's for him to decide. I mean, after all, what is he to me? Absolutely nothing. He's just the Arizonian cacti cowboy. Turns up here at 3 o'clock in the morning, like a bad penny. That's right. Anyway, so I just thought I'd give you that update. And so you know what's been going on. I'll talk to you later. Bye.